So I was browsing Netflix one day, and I came across this new Canadian show called The Hollow. And it doesn't look like a lot of people are talking about it, so I thought I'd do a review. Because that's good for a YouTube channel, to talk about something that nobody else is talking about. The show is about these three kids that wake up in this strange room with amnesia, so they escape and find themselves in a very strange world, and they have to find out who they are and why they're there. On their journey, they meet all kinds of strange characters, find themselves in all kinds of danger, and slowly learn that each of them has a strange superpower. The kids are Adam, voiced by Adrian Petrou, I hope I pronounced that correctly, but I recognized him as the voice of Tony Stark from Iron Man Armored Adventures, which is a bit of an underrated show if you ask me. Mira, voiced by Ashley Ball, who I think a lot of Pony fans will recognize. No, go away. Go away. And Kai, voiced by Connor Parnell, who really hasn't done much else. So my immediate issue with this show was, well, this setup has been done a lot of times before in a lot of different places. You know, the whole amnesia thing and waking up in a strange place and not knowing who you are and having to go on this journey to find out who you are. Yeah, it's been done a lot in fiction, and the unfortunate truth is there's only so many logical conclusions that this can lead to. However, the show does seem to be a bit self-aware of this, and in the first episode, they kind of jokingly ran through all of the conclusions that this kind of thing can lead to. They were going, oh, what if we were abducted by aliens, or what if we were some kind of experiment, or what if we were dead? They did try and hammer in the whole being dead thing throughout this series, and it might have been a bit of a jab against people that like to theorize that kind of thing whenever they encounter a story like this. So like, oh, obviously they're dead. Without spoiling anything, I will say that they're not dead. And those theories are stupid. Again, without spoiling anything, I will say that the conclusion is a tiny bit more complicated than you might think it is. However, over time it does become somewhat obvious as to what's going on. In fact, there is a point in the show where it becomes blatantly obvious. However, I think the more trope-savvy out there can probably figure it out just from episode 1. But despite all of that, I did enjoy the show quite a bit. It has good atmosphere, lots of tension, lots of action, and I am a sucker for a good mystery. I like something that's mentally stimulating, where I can follow all the action and figure out what's going on, or at least try to figure out what's going on by piecing things together. I think watching stuff like Gravity Falls has kind of conditioned me to constantly be looking at like the background and trying to figure out what things are, and like, oh, they picked something up, oh, what's that? Does that have some kind of significance or something like that? And there were even some cool scary moments too. I've always said that there's not enough animated horror out there, and while I don't think I would classify the show as a horror, I do think there were moments where it came pretty close. There are also some really funny moments too that kind of balance things out. Specifically, I would say episode 3 is one of my favorites, mostly because of a couple of characters they meet, but I won't spoil anything. And I'm really glad this is a show on Netflix and not on TV, because there's no way that this show would survive on television, at least not nowadays. I'm glad it's on Netflix, where we can get stuff like this that's scary and weird and experimental, and there's nobody to inhibit it. But yeah, I really liked it. I didn't really love it, and it's mostly because of the few faults that I mentioned earlier. Also, I feel like that the ending is going to disappoint quite a few of you, because like I said, there is a logical conclusion here, but it's a little bit more complicated than you might think. And I think a lot of people will be disappointed in that. Also, I don't know if they can continue this series. I mean, I guess they could, but I don't think it will have the same effect as it did with the first season, so I'm okay with this just being a one-and-done series. But that's all I got for The Hollow on Netflix. Leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of it. My name is Rob, and have a wonderful day.